Shaima, I know you have been in Gaza recently yourself. We've had this confirmation now in Gaza City that there is famine. What have you seen? What have your team seen for yourselves?
Well, it just weighs heavy to sit here today and tell you that this announcement is not a surprise. When I was in Gaza and aid was abruptly cut off, it was during Ramadan, it was on the 2nd of March. And I remember how the day before, my colleagues, there was such a buzz in the office that lettuce was finally in the market, and there was a discussion on what salads they were going to be making that day to break their fast. And the next day, there was this announcement that aid was going to be cut off. And I just remember the panic in people. People were panic buying. They were going to the markets, buying whatever they could find and whatever they could afford. And within days, any sort of protein, meat was not available. Within weeks, there was no fresh fruit and no fresh vegetables. And within a month, there was no flour. And if there was flour available, it was 3 times the usual price. And I was already speaking to families during the ceasefire then. There was a pause in hostilities on how it was like during the war. And many of them, particularly those that lived in the north, didn't have any access to food. So they were taking desperate and dehumanising measures to feed their children. One mother was telling me how she would use animal feed and make some sort of dough with that to feed her 4 small children. People were eating grass, they were eating leaves. And the situation has only gotten worse since then. We have children telling us that they wish they would die so that they could go to heaven and eat food.
Shaima, that's very difficult to listen to. You have actually witnessed this for yourselves, because Israel is saying that there is no famine in Gaza. They're saying this is false information based on Hamas's false information. When you talk about children having to eat grass or animal feed, you have actually witnessed that yourself. You have, just tell me what age these children were, where you've seen it.
So when I was in Gaza, I met a lot of malnourished children, and I was in Gaza during the pause in hostilities. So I was meeting a lot of the children in our healthcare clinics who were receiving treatment for malnutrition. Their mothers were telling me how they used to beg for food to try and feed their children. A lot of the mothers that had just given birth, they couldn't breastfeed because they were malnourished themselves. But they were getting the treatment that they needed because aid at the time was coming in, so we were able to give them the treatment that they needed to recover. And just as they were recovering, aid was cut off. And families were they just didn't know what to do. Like only yesterday, I spoke to a colleague and I said to him that I was going to be on the BBC today. What would you like me to tell the BBC? And he said, Shaima, I just want people to know that I am a human being. I do not want to lose my children. I fear every day that my children would die from the bombs, but I fear now that they would starve to death.
These are your own colleagues?
These are my own colleagues that I worked with.
Okay, Shaima Al-Abidi, thank you.